Say what? What are they doing here? Often mistaken for a pom-pom who has expanded their Tresdale diet of extended red foods, the hula is actually a distant creature. This doesn't stop them from getting along famously. They share something of a sisterly bond. The hula is a born troublemaker, pulling pranks on other monsters and using its special who get up to all kinds of mischief. Likely, Apollo is usually nearby to help set things right. This monster's like all seasonals, cannot breed. Wait, you can't breed her? Crap. Where was, or what happens when these mischief seasonals adhere to the diet of their pom-pom cousins? True to form, however, they usually outdo it and become a general set of work in the process. This makes it a little more difficult to sneak up on other monsters or to pull pranks, so the rare hula compensates by adding an extra hoop to distract them using sleight of hand, or in this case, sleight of hoop. I don't get it. Well, these guys are the ones who were playing pranks on the monsters. It's a prankster. Badoo-wop. Crab ad. Ad. Always ad. What ad is it? Wait, it's 22 seconds long. Yep, let me get out of here. Let me get out of there. I feel like a rabbit here. Rabbit. The hybrid. So, what did they call the monsters that have all of the elements or hybrids? They are called hybrids. There's things for my seeing monsters like Big Blue Bubble giving me 10 diamonds. That was really kind of you guys. Monster size savings on that packs this week. 30% off treasure chest and 20% off card of diamonds. So let's say and get some. Oh damn! You shouldn't have done that, dude. They're still high priced. In the market. Join us on Twitch today at 5 p.m. East for the 20th live stream of our live stream show, Rising Monsters Live. Watch for your chance to win a giveaway. Oh, I'm tuning in. Twitch TV. Playing my singing monsters. I miss all the songs, but not that one's special. Okay, what's going on? What you saying?
Language is so varied and all the different monsters can make different sounds, but they are all mutually intelligible with each other. It was important for us to write the lyrics of the Wordos and various other monsters to convert them into English so that it was understood by a large part of our player audience. All right. So it's possible that the Wordos aren't actually speaking English and that they are speaking monstrous, but it would be difficult for us to interpret monstrous poetry, and so that's why they appear the way they do.
All right, well, you heard it here first. I'm the premier source for monster information. 100% May be confirmed.
Maybe confirmed. That's a theory of mine. Get or leave it.
I have a theory.
Although what's your theory?
You're not going to get this next time.
No. All right, this is number 7, right?
We are on to number 7.
Okay.
Of questions related to My Singing Monsters Live
All right.
history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a good one. I'm very excited. You ready?
Yes.
Which monster was the last to be bigified during our Firehaven release party?
Shrub.
Stump.
No!
It was, in fact, our good friend, Zinap the Stog.
Well,
Oh, Zinap.
I would never have gotten that.
No, I was only looking for Stog.
I'm 1 out of 4. I'm 1 out of 4.
Yes.
25%. My average is plummeting here.
You've still got
Okay, so on to number 6.
the number 6
Of the
moment.
momentous occasions. This is the Wublin Island Awakenings
Ooh.
and the release of Wublin Island back in 2016. So this was an exciting update for us because we were able to tie it in to Blabbit, who was instrumental in discovering Wublin Island because Blabbit, a lover of eggs and painted eggs and everything to do with extravaganza, was obviously interested in the Wublin mechanic of zapping eggs and was sort of following a paper trail of various scraps of map, sort of like when Kana was distributing pieces of the map back during the era of Tribal Island.
cool.
And that's how Wublin Island came to be found. It was very exciting.
Fantastic. Let's see if you can
We
find
got
the
the
knowledge
Wublins,
to
we
answer
got the
some of these
Wublins.
questions.
Okay.
The Phoenix Kev wants to
We
know,
got the Wublins,
can
we
you
got
tell
the
us something about the
Wublins.
development of the Wublin Island song and how it came to be?
Absolutely. So our composer, Dave Kerr, wanted to go in a different direction from some of the previous islands for My Singing Monsters and do something that was a little grittier, a little darker. And so the original idea was that it was sort of going to be like a monster nightclub, something with like flashing neon signs,
Yeah.
generally a darker atmosphere, really strange body shapes, and the sort of nightmare versions of monsters. Sort of originally it was the idea that it was going to be, these are the monsters that inhabit the nightmares of the singing monsters. That they were going to be especially creepy and especially scary. But over the course of development, they sort of...
We're like, hey, we don't want to do
sort
that.
of a meandering path. You do have still some scary monsters, like, Poke. It can be a little ominous with its not witch doctor, but plague doctor mask.
Plague Doctor.
It's a mask.
The plague, the plague, the plague.
Point.
That thing's creepy.
To clarify, but over the course of its development, it moved away from like a nightclub feel to more just like a high energy electrical themed feel. And we wanted to tie in the idea of the element of electricity.
We got the Wublins, we got the Wublins.
Hazel Holtman wants to know, what is Rare Wubbock's relationship with the Wubblins?
Sort of
We
like
created
an uncle
them.
figure. Because Wubbox is the creator of the Wublins. Rare Wubbox, while not necessarily sharing in the creative disciplines of the common Wubbox, is certainly happy to say hi.
Very cool.
Yes. As your uncle might do.
Bannon Mannon 55 wants to know, how did Wubbox create the Wubblins?
So the element of electricity is one of the least understood elements in the monster world. We do know that it is connected to the idea of bringing things to life, hence the spark of life, which is what is used to bring an otherwise inanimate Wublin statue to life. But the exact process is unclear.
Wake me up, you idiots. If you don't wake me up, I'll kill you. Wait, I'm gonna be asleep.
Different.
Oh, wait, they're also gonna be asleep.
We're not entirely sure. All we know is that the spark of life, which is connected to the element of electricity, is heavily involved in the animation of the statues into their alive.
We have the Wublins, we got the Wublins.
One last question. Like Waj, are there any other Wublin names that most people have a hard time pronouncing?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it's...
Why?
You mispronounced it yourself.
I dropped
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I just read it too fast.
Okay.
Burr,
Like Waja, which is perhaps one of our most difficult to pronounce Wublin names. I find that a couple of the ones that are hard to pronounce are Poke, just because looking at it, it's sort of a strange looking
Poke,
word.
Poke,
There's more going on, like
Poke.
Poke.
Yeah.
But it is just Poke. Pixelotl is one of them, inspired, of course, by the human world creature, the
Pixel Law.
and Giger is another one that we've previously
Giger.
to one of our
Burp.
favorite artists.
Bum.
So
Burp.
those-
I just called the gigantic green guy Burp. Burp. Because it's
Okay, all right.
We'll find out.
Burp.
Okay.
It's a
Number
burp.
6, the My Singing Monsters Live history questions. I think you can get this one.
Okay. They'll bring me up to 2 out of 5, which should give me the 40%.
Here we go, history.
What message was recovered from a bottle shortly after the discovery of Firehaven?
Oh, that message read. You
Crap. Loading.
say it verbatim?
Yep, that's
Oh, no.
the answer. What else are you going to say? A message? We already know that.
Is anyone out there?
Oh, stop! What? Is any monster out there?
No! I almost lost my hat.
He
The
tried
first
to-
of all,
he tried
my
to
knowledge.
leave. He was so
Tried
embarrassed.
to make a break for it.
As Big Shrub said, things that go stump in the night.
Oh, rats! Thanks, Big Shrub, for the
Oh.
encouragement.
Very nice. Well,
All right, so I'm
Stump.
down now to 20%.
but
No, but there's time to
Okay.
recover.
we got
Stump.
5 more to go, I
That's
believe.
right, there's
We've
time to
recovered 5 more to go.
The
That
first thing
means-
that we're going to do
Please introduce.
is we're going to take a look, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at this time, at some of our monster pieces.
How
We're
could
gonna-
we not?
Yes, we're gonna
Pieces!
interlude, to use musical terminology, and take a look at some of our favorite monster pieces that were submitted to us recently. If ever you want to submit a piece of art for the monster handlers to take a look at and admire, as we always do,
They got the wobblins.
post it to one of our social media channels,
Yep.
to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and just remember to include the hashtag MyStreamingMonsters. That
My
way we
Streaming
know
Monsters.
To, we're looking for it. It's easy for us to collect it.
Streaming.
Show it to
I'm
the
seeing
program.
monsters
Yeah.
So
streaming.
let's start.
Let's take a look. The first one coming up is from Bunny884890572.
Ah,
My
it
favorite
looks so
And
cool.
this is the Slap Rock Lucky Bird, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a newly proposed seasonal monster
That's
celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
As you can see from all the clothes.
Come on,
Yes,
add that.
and the transition that
Better add that in.
from
If you
a
don't
young
add that in, then
form, I like
I'm
the
gonna
fact that
quit
it's
My
a
Singing
little bit
Monsters. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stay in My Singing Monsters.
It's very cute. I like the yellow coloration of the young.
Add that in. Add that in. Oh, sorry. Add that in. Add that in.
From Butterslip547, we appear to have a comic here.
Here we have depicted an interaction between Barb and Flower, who have always been sort of imagined as good buddies given their plant-like appearances and their similar parts that they sing. We've got Barb here, Hooga Shoo, and then Flower appears to be a little disgruntled by this, but Barb is happy to, be a good sport about it. And,
That's right.
And flash a big smile at Flower, who looks a little bent out of shape. But what are you going to do? That's Flower for you.
Yep. Classic flower. The next one coming up is from
Oogachu.
Ooh, the Mysticals. There's a whole collection of monsters visible here. Very impressive. This is a lot of hard work by Galactic.
That's a lot of
Well
monsters.
done. All are not shown
More
to
than-
scale. An important byline included there by the artist. The Mysticals. A new class of monster, I must imagine.
Okay, I'll stop.
They might be-
Seriously, add those in.
Well, I think
Add
my
those
favorite
thingies
is the
in.
blue one in the upper right corner.
Honestly, I can't pick. There's so many good ones.
There
And
are.
I think I would have
I love
to
you,
take
My Singing
minutes to
Monsters.
Oh,
really
there's sort
narrow
of
it
like
down.
an orange-like ghast there on the left, which I like. Oh, very exciting. Well done.
Orange gas.
Okay, the next one coming up is from Geo Kamet.
And Geo Kamet has depicted here what look like some alternative forms of the
Look
Wordos.
at that. I believe
I
that's
thought they were weirdos.
Toppy or Top-Eye and Marger?
Oh, you know what they are? They are blended forms.
That is
Ah.
correct.
There's Toppy is Talker and Magpie put together,
Of course.
and then Marger is perhaps the inverse of that. They've swapped some traits.
Meager.
It's very
I
cool.
imagine it would be top high, like magpie.
Oh yes, you're right. It's supposed to be Toppy.
Old Toppy.
What fools? Yo fool! Yo fool! All right, what
Yo.
do we have next?
Fool. Why, you fool?
Here's Hazelnut Volcano's very interesting looking island of their own creation. Looks like a lot of, looks like a subterranean.
Cave Island. Looks like Cave
They're
Island.
a Colossal 3 that they've submitted. And very interesting to note that this Colossal has either 4 eyes or 2. Perhaps those 2 on the side are sort of vestigial eyes that have not yet opened. There's all sorts of exciting interpretations for this great piece of art. So thank you for sending it in, Hazelnut Volcano.
And who have we got up next?
That's a
Here we have
interpretation of
Chris Sapphire 3's Thwack, which has bound itself with its tongue.
I believe
It's wrapped all around.
It's sleeping.
Crap.
See the snoring there.
The Z, as Canadians might say, or
That's
the
right.
Z's,
Yep.
as everyone else says. Yes.
Why does
very
it look
cute.
like a girl?
Cute. I didn't see those at first. I must say, because the blue Z blended in with the side. But I'm glad you noticed them, because
Yes.
now we have a better context of this awesome monster.
That's right.
So well
oh
done.
boy, this next
I'm
piece.
sad
from
that there's
Logan
gonna be no
Peters,
baby
89.
above-
There's only one way to describe.
It's a
this next
Boscus.
piece. It's bold and brash.
It's bold and brash. Boscus, bold and brash.
That's right.
Lots of
Bold and
alliteration
brash.
there. Looks like it's
Boscus.
traversing the landscape.
Looks like Squidward.
Very interesting.
Love it. The next piece comes in from May,
May.
I believe.
Why not? And there's some very, very cute interpretations of the Celestials.
That looks
They're
so
young
cool.
souls, specifically from Celestial Island, as human performers. So here we have depicted Skartar, Blassoom, and Furnos. I particularly like Blassoom's glasses. Very cute.
Why do I keep on dropping this dumb thing?
Staunch Furnos is a punk believer.
Yes?
That human form does not look like a punk. Just looks like a very lovely
It's
individual.
very, very sweet. Yes.
Why?
And coming
Why
up
does
from
it
Michael
have fire?
So
Maybe I'm not
this is a
supposed to
fusion of multiple
play with
monsters.
fire.
I don't know if you guys can name any of the monsters.
Oh, I think I see Kana.
I'll leave this up to the expert.
I think I see the wings of Rare Kongal. It looks almost like a Dwumroll-esque body.
Looks like there's a
And then,
bit of a beard.
and then at the bottom, perhaps the feet of Screamew? I'm not entirely sure. How close was I, Sydney?
So if I recall, it is Kana,
Uh-huh.
Tweedle,
Oh, Tweedle's wings,
yes,
okay.
and Brat,
Okay.
and I believe Furnos as well.
Oh. Yep, I can see it now that you've said it. Well done, Michael Tempest.
Very
A
cool.
lot of creativity went into this monster
Yeah.
merge.
I think cool. That'll be maybe a fun art thing coming up
The
sometime.
merging
Yeah,
monsters.
maybe we'll find
That'd
a way
be
to
very
put
cool.
something together.
All right. Next
Yeah,
up
you can
is
actually-
Spider Nichols. Very adorable depiction of a young Furnos snuzzling with an adult Furnos.
The community is trying to change my mind about Furnos being
Yes,
punk.
this is
I
not
can tell.
punk-like behavior at all.
No,
this is
this
very
is
very adorable behavior.
Again, to be
Adorable.
clear, I don't consider being a punk a bad thing,
Oh, that's right.
but this is very much not punkish in the least.
Fair enough.
Well, that was our monster pieces for today. Thank you guys so much for sending them all in.
Bye.
Keep sending them in. We want more. We want to keep looking at them. We want to share them.
Oh, I wish I had a Twitter account, but my
Love
mom
talking
won't
about
let
them, love
me.
looking at them. But for now,
We have the remaining 5 moments in Monster World history to blast through.
yeah, we gotta roll through this thing. So
Oh,
let's
epic.
go with number
Eep.
5.
Epic Bogart.
The Epic Encounters. This is
Yeah.
World history.
That's right.
At least their discovery. But as we know, Dr. Warden E. Spurritt theorized their existence long before, but it was only recently that the Monster Handlers decided to investigate further, try and dig up those old records, which were so instrumental in helping to discover them. And this I put on the list because it represented an awesome moment of community collaboration where several members of the community helped us in sharing the footage that we'd taken in the monster world of these epics in their natural habitats.
You're
Or should I say
welcome.
epic habitats? Well, I guess they're still natural.
Yeah, I think it'd be both.
Yeah. So give me some
speaking-
questions.
Speaking of both,
Yes.
Red Guy 1293 wants to know: are the epics and rares both
Yes.
like doppelgangers?
Not doppelgangers.
I'd say that there's more that's different about them that sort of removes them from the realm of doppelgangers. I'd consider them more like they are subspecies descended from the common ancestor that is the common monster.
Ooh, good one here about a recent epic.
Mm.
Grumpy Galvano wants to know: did Epic Yule dye its fur blue? It is native to the same island as Deej.
This is very true, and the Epic Yule's blue fur certainly looks like it perhaps was tinted by Deej earwax, a very potent dye. However, I don't think that that's the case because there's something special about the way that Epic Yule disguises itself for the remainder of the year, and I think that the Epicule is actually cold to the touch for this very same reason. For those of you who are following our Instagram account, maybe this is clear to you what the Epicule does. Instead of hopping on their personal comets and flying away like the common and rare Yules do, it instead does something a little different throughout the year.
That's right. Very cool. Frank Aiello wants to know, will we ever see Dr. Warden E. Spurritt? That's a tough one.
No footage exists, unfortunately.
That we have.
Well, that's a good point. There might be something out there that we haven't looked at yet, but I don't know if we will ever see Dr. Warden E. Spurritt.
Notoriously shy, didn't like football.
That's right. We do, of course, have here the notes that were recovered from Dr. Warden E. Spurritt, but not one for self-portraiture. Did more sketches of the monster world and all of the wonders therein. So, we don't know if we'll ever see Dr. Warden E. Spurritt.
Here's hoping.
Could be. Could be we come across something new in the future.
One last question here. How did you get the design for Epic Potbelly? And I believe we've been answering it already.
Yes. So I spoke to one of the artists who helped to contribute the design for Epic Potbelly, and I will now read off the quote that was delivered to us. So, the design was made from the bottom up. I wanted the Potbelly's planter pot to get a special upgrade, and I started thinking about what would make an epic, majestic home for it to live in. Once the pot turned into a royal castle, the Potbelly turned into a monster that matched the set. Were you mouthing along?
Yes, I was.
You were the artist?
I was the avatar for the artist.
Oh, very good. Well done. I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I wondered what was going on.
Talking, you was just trying to give...
All right, well, I'm happy that you clarified. But yeah, so that was the inspiration. So it started with the castle, and then the Epic Potbelly's draconian appearance followed suit.
Very cool. And those quotes let us know. During the Firehaven release party, I believe we had several quotes from artists.
Interviews with the artists.
That's right, and we'd love to get more of you guys if you guys want to hear information straight from the people who work.
The creative minds of the Monster Handlers.
That's right. Let's see how creative your mind is. With this next stumped question, we are number 5. Ooh, this one is one that's close, near and dear to my heart.
All right.
We'll see if you know this.
Okay.
During Extra.
Okay.
While I controlled the mouse, how many times did we die while playing Five Nights at Freddy's?
What?
7.
Stop.
No.
The answer is an astonishing 0 times.
You look at you.
I played Five Nights at Freddy's once in my life. I believe it was night 2 or 3, and we got to, I think, 5 a.m. You have to survive till 6 a.m. to beat the game, in case you haven't played it. Well, to beat the night. We got to 5 a.m. We had no battery power, which is what you need to survive.
Yes.
And Jacob and I, in a panic, just dropped everything and held each other. And just
hoped
watched.
for the best.
And just watched. And at about 5:30 a.m., some creepy music started to play and a face was lighting up. And we had given up all hope. And then, against all odds, it rolled over to 6. And we won anyway.
Amazing.
It was incredible.
Well, isn't that nice?
Moment.
I'm very happy for you. However, I'm less happy for myself, whose average is now dropped to 1 out of 6.
That's right. I died.
I didn't even know what they played Five Nights at Freddy's.
With that, let's move on to the next big moment in My Same Monsters history.
Number
This is
4.
Number 4.
And that is the formation of Celestial Island, which took place just last year, of course, in the monster world, and which was hinted at by various social media posts depicting promotions throughout the month. We can see here Rare Dandy Do, Rare Shellbeat, and Rare Rebro, who were
I'm kind
observing
candy.
Starhenge falling through
They got
the
some
sky,
Christmas.
ready to land upon the surface of the monster world and form Celestial Island. A very exciting moment that helped to bring in some aspect of the prehistoric monster world to the present day monster world.
All right, let's hit up some questions about Celestial Island. Jay Shaw 699538872 wants to know what happens when the revived Celestials grow up on Celestial Island. Do they go back to Starhenge? I don't know if you can answer that.
I can answer that.
Oh.
So, first of all, we don't know how long it takes for Celestials to mature into their adult forms. This could be a time span beyond reckoning by human or monster years.
Or 15 minutes.
Or 15 minutes. No, not 15 minutes.
We've had them much longer.
But they cannot return to Starhenge because Starhenge is Celestial Island. Celestial Island is Starhenge. There's nothing to go back to. Starhenge falling out of the sky is what formed Celestial Island in the first place. So, for better or worse, that's their forever home now.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Korzuker MSM wants to know, what eggs will Galvana on Celestial Island require?
Well, and how should I know? Hasn't been.
Galvana on Celestial Island?
It has. Galvana has not been recovered from the wreckage of Celestial Island yet, so there's absolutely no way of knowing, since
Where's
an
Granda?
element that appears on
Oh,
numerous
sorry.
Ravan.
I can't pronounce your name.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Granda.
We'll have to wait until Galvana is unearthed from the wreckage.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe you can answer this one from Cal Nicholson. Stumble on that a little bit. Which is funny. It was just so simple.
I actually can imagine
No.
the
Would the revived Celestials visit their elemental? They could.
I'm
Galvan.
sure they'd be
Alright,
interested
fine.
in
Galvan
doing so,
and
because
Vamp
now
were like-
being at the same
Ah!
rest of the islands in the main reality.
I'm so
Travel is
sorry.
obviously a lot easier than hopping down from Starhenge, which is an orbit around the monster world, down to the continent. So during the era of Dawn of Fire, it wasn't possible, but now it is possible for Celestials to visit. They just haven't done so yet because Celestials don't know much about the world. They're still sort of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, so to speak, even those that don't have tails. That's figuratively speaking, of course.
Of course.
And so I think that they would if they could. I don't know
Yeah.
if they've yet devised any means to move off of Celestial Island.
So, official answer? They have figuratively bushy tails.
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Distillation down.
Let's see how bushy your tail remains after this stumped question.
Okay.
I don't know.
This is number 4 of my Monsters Live
Yes.
trivia. I can hear snickering back there in my
She's
transition.
snickering.
Well,
Hopefully not at my efforts so far.
this
at
is
trivia
very relevant
questions.
because she
Okay.
was also snickering during this occurrence in my Singing Monsters
Yes.
Live. What were the ingredients of the audience-chosen Monster Nog from the infamous Monster Kitchen segment?
Eggnog base,
Right, but they didn't choose that.
Yes.
I'll let that pass as not a wrong.
pizza,
Okay. I'll tell you this, there are 3.
I'm gonna get stomped.
Top 3.
pizza, olives, and nougat.
I loved putting this together, by the way. I was the one who blended this up for everyone.
This was a concoction of Monster Handler Sydney's, and I know that I'm wrong, so just do the damage. Tell me what I've done.
Stumped.
Oh.
It was a concoction of gingerbread, clamato juice,
He got stomped.
and banana pepper.
Stomp, 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 stomp,
Okay,
stomp.
down to 1 out of 7.
I'll never forget that one. That is one I'm going to remember.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I need to get the next 3 questions correct in order to maintain my average of 40%. I don't know if it's going to happen. Let's just barrel forward and see what happens.
To be fair, we could also say your average specifically regarding my Singing Monster trivia.
Oh,
This is a bit
Galvana, bless you, my friend. Let's say that moving forward. This one's a wash. This one's a write-off.
Hopefully.
Doesn't add to the total.
hopefully Furcon will give you the strength to get the next 3 right, but
Give me strength,
we will see. Maybe you'll be inspired
Okay.
by the number 3 moment.
which is the discovery of Wubbox. This is a major turning point in Monster
What the
World.
heck is a Wubbox?
Pictured here are some of the social
Right there.
posts that were posted, as well as the interstitial, the advertisement that appeared in-game, first announcing that the Wubbox has arrived, first available on Plant Island, and you can see that it was, at the time, available in the Monsters menu at level 30, which has since moved down to level 20. So
Just thank goodness.
what in the world is a Wubbox?
Very
and
cool.
and that text treatment of Wubbox, that sort of
And also, who
lovely
created?
letter
Speaking of Wubbox,
persists
who
to
created
this day
Wubbox?
As the art that
Galvan?
we want to announce that the Wubbox is
The
doing
curse, the last curse.
All right, play with a few questions. Maybe we'll try a bit of a speed round.
Yep,
See
okay.
how we can condense these.
All right,
Prince Ike Total wants to know, is the Wubbox partially mechanical or entirely mechanical?
it's neither. It is biomechanical.
Ooh,
that means
interesting.
that there are
Who created the
aspects
Wubbox?
of
Who
it
created the
that
Wubbox? Who created the
defy
Wubbox?
Biological understanding and that defy mechanical understanding.
Who created the
Tests
Wubbox?
that were done to the surface of the Wubbox, and they had similarities.
Who created
with
Wubbox? Who created Wubbox?
Natural monsters. So that was defying any sort of understanding of how the Wubbox exactly works.
Who created
because
Wubbox?
It's a blend of bio and mechanical.
Who created
One more
Wubbox?
question about how the Wubbox works. The Phoenix Kev points out, So we all know that a Wubbox is able to travel through time and space. Does this mean that someday a Wubbox might end up exploring the Dawn of Fire era?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, you know that Wubbox can travel, as Phoenix Kev pointed out, through time and space. It's possible. I think it's probably easier to visit other worlds than it is to visit your own timeline, because then you have that sort of grandfather paradox. The Wubbox arriving back then, would that influence the future of the monster world? We don't know, and we don't have any reported sightings of the Wubbox during the era of Dawn of Fire, but if it were to be that time, I assume that it would not need to be powered up, and the monsters would not be boxed, because I think that would just be too many monsters.
Too many monsters.
Too many monsters.
Could be too many monsters.
Could be bobbles.
Could be bobbles.
Could be bobbles. I gotcha. I knew what you were.
All right,
you were
well,
setting it up, and I knocked him down.
Let's see if I can get you with this next stump.
Okay.
This is a good one. I can't wait to see. During his appearance in the Magic Mirror, how many times was Imposter Handler Matt stamped during trivia questions?
So this isn't getting the questions correct. It's how many times did the stamped happen?
No, stamped means correct.
Okay,
But
so
I'll tell you why we're doing this, because there were times in between questions where Imposter Handler Matt claimed,
or as I like to, out of respect, to call him human expert Matt, but Imposter Handler Matt. He did insist that that was the position that he held in this mirror universe.
Strictly trivia
About
questions that were
stamped.
asked.
Okay,
So none of these in between.
I'm gonna say 3.
Do you want to try again? 3?
I know that he got all the questions correct. I just don't remember how many of them got stamped. All right, 5.
Anything correct is stamped. Let's clarify that right now.
6. You got a bonus question too.
Stop.
Oh, he got
8. Okay, well
he
I'm
got
way off.
stumped.
8. I'm gonna have to
Wah,
go
wah,
and do that
wah.
footage.
I'll do my best. Imposter Handler Matt.
Okay,
Ready?
all right, let's hear it.
Damn.
This doesn't sound like it at all.
Oh, I tried.
So like
In no way,
storm.
shape, or form are you related to Imposter Handler
Listen,
Matt?
I did my best.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Speaking of our best, what is I shouldn't say second best. That's not really fair. But the second highest moment from My Singing Monsters history. This is number 2.
It is. That's the way the continent crumbles.
Wow.
Which is a creative title that I
very well
devised
done.
with the help of Monster Handler Sydney. This was the depiction for the first time of the fate of the continent and its subsequent demise after the earthquake struck the continent and separated the various elemental lands into the natural islands that we know today. And this was obviously a pivotal moment for us because it hinted at the mystery of what happened to the fire monsters.
That's right.
It was a major moment and the first conclusive evidence that we had that the continent became the natural islands.
I mean, that just
Wow.
confirms up our understanding of everything.
It is, and it connects.
Maybe we're gonna get a cutscene of where
All right.
where.
Todd's 223 casually asks, so when My Singing Monsters first came out, was that directly after the continent split apart?
It is not. There was a period of time after the continent split apart and before renewed contact with the
Are we gonna see the
allowed,
continent
to
split
learn more
out?
about the various natural islands. They sat in a state of dormancy for quite a long time, in a period that I'm calling the Grand Pause. That's the period of time between the demise of the continent and the renewed contact with the human world, which helped bring some of the life back to the natural islands and repopulate them with singing monsters.
Very cool. I bet Shark 10 wants to know what triggers water lands and earth lands to rise out of the water in Dawn of Fire.
So this is related to the level progression in Dawn of Fire, but in the actual continuity of the monster world, these two lands actually rose out of the living ocean later than the first 3 did. So fire was the first element to be born, and from it sprang the plant lands, the cold lands, and the air lands, and only later did receding water levels of the living ocean expose the water lands and the earth lands.
Very cool.
But how did the continent get on
I'm loving
the
these segues.
the Currento's
Number 2
heads?
of My Singing Monsters live history. This is going to be a good one.
All right.
How many...
You say so.
How many concerned monsters were there in the wide shot of Tribal Island when the rumbling started in the Firehaven reveal video? And I know you paid a lot of attention to this scene.
I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna say 8.
Correct.
Yes!
Yeah, he got stamped!
Can't believe
Stamped!
it.
Stamped!
So that's 2.
Stamped! Stamped!
See if I can get.
Okay, this is a bonus point.
Can I?
You won't be stumped.
I can't get it. Give me a bonus point if I'm able to.
Yes.
end these.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
But
good.
there's no negative. We won't stump
Okay,
you.
so here they are. It is Mammoth, Furcorn, Entbrat, Pom Pom,
Yay!
Reedling, Shrub, Tweedle, and it's either Noggin or Maw. I'm gonna say Noggin.
Oh, so close.
No!
So close.
Stomp!
So let me elaborate very quickly. It was Octopus, Mammoth, Furcorn, Wog, Entbrat, Pom Pom, Shrub, Reedling, and in fact, Tweedle was there, but not concerned. Indifferent. Very noted.
Okay, the technicalities. Oh, you're killing
But
me.
you still got the number right.
Yeah, all right.
So you still got.
All right,
got
I
the main
still
point.
have 2 out of 9 correct. Okay, that's terrible, but all right.
2 plus 9 is 11. 11 is 2.
Why are you leaving the stream?
Okay, very good.
So they
very
could
good
go to
segue. So
bed?
this will come as no surprise to anyone that my number 1 moment in Monster World history is the finding of Firehaven. Hashtag get fired up.
Get fired
This
up.
was an
Get
amazing
fired
moment
up.
for all of us here at Big Blue Bubble, the Monster Handlers, to finally make contact with the long-lost fire monsters and learn that they had not, in fact, gone extinct. They had not, in fact, fallen out of memory, but were there.
Wait,
all
where are the
along
other
and
monsters?
waiting to be rediscovered.
Crazy.
It was great.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
Where?
Time to be alive.
Especially for the fire monsters.
That's my. And they were alive the whole time. And that.
We also thought they were dead.
All right.
All right. So now,
Well,
give me some questions.
here's a question from Prince Ecto. Where are the rest of the fire elementals?
So, the cave network
They-
underneath of the monster world is vast. As I previously mentioned, it could be that some other groups of fire elementals made journeys out from the main fire haven
Explore.
in order to try and see what else was out there. Maybe they could try and make it back to the surface because they were living underground for so long. So we know that all of the known fire elementals did survive the cataclysm, the demise of the continent, but we're just waiting to hear back from them. And who knows how long that will take.
I'm going to make an unprecedented move.
Okay?
I think I know the answer to this question.
Okay?
I believe it's been asked before.
Yep.
Hang on.
Where are the fire? Where are the other fire hydrants?
No.
Stumped.
I believe it's Cabwax?
Cabwax.
No, it's not Cabwax.
It's Cubwax. Cubwax.
Cubwax.
The first syllable. Cubwax. There you go. We listened.
We tell everyone in the audience, if we're pronouncing your name wrong, please let us know. Cubwax, let us know. And
It's
I wanted
not
to make sure.
Cabwax, it's Cubwax.
I wanted to make sure
Cubwax.
it didn't get said
We
wrong
got the
again.
Cubwax.
So
We
there
got
you
the
go.
There you have it.
Cubwax wants to know,
Yes.
how do flugels eat their treats when fed, because they don't appear to have mouths, if I remember correctly, through their tubes?
That's right. They're all purpose.
They're like,
orifice,
Winner game.
double
eat
sense of
through
nose,
their
and also with
nose?
the mouth. Congratulations.
Ew.
Monster handling improves every day, Eric. No, that doesn't sound right.
Winner! He got stamped! Stamp!
That
Oh,
question,
yeah!
They want to know what caused the flashing of Kana's eyes in the Firehaven trailer. I think I'm able to answer this one as well.
Well, why don't you just take it from here, Monster Handler Eric?
I believe it was sensing the return of the fire element from Firehaven.
That's correct.
A mystical energy or connection.
A long-distance fire sight enablement.
That's right, because then when it looked into the fire, the glowing eyes enabled it to see Firehaven.
That's right. Well, very good.
All right, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yes, you should be proud of yourself.
On this occasion, big 1-0.
Yes.
I'll let you have this one, even
All right.
if I know it.
Okay.
Mr. Dash 1234 wants to know, what about the water around the tribal island in the Firehaven trailer? I'm going to ask
Question
that
mark.
again. I phrased that very weird.
What
Did it
about-
turn into...
What about the water around the tribal in the Firehaven trailer? In game, we don't see water anywhere.
Yes, and that all has to do with the camera angles.
Yes.
So Tribal Island is located in the middle of a tropical sea. It's a very warm, very enjoyable climate for Tribal Island. Just because it's not visible in game doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
I will also say,
I thought it turned into
videos,
gas.
sometimes we get a little creative. It's a different medium.
Well, that's right, and it gives us a chance to reveal different aspects of the monster world than we're necessarily able to do in game.
I'm the first person to admit it's not always perfectly to scale in videos. I will say if a monster ever looks too big, it's because it's bigified. That's canon.
That is canon.
There's no such thing as a monster too big.
That is official. That is official.
So big, gigantic monsters are canon.
Earth Island?
Cool.
On
There was
Earth
a-
Island.
For eagle-eyed viewers,
During the investigation of the
peculiar
case of the pesky prankster.
That's right. A very, very bigified breed.
Very big.
Okay. With that, let's review.
Stretch right to the edge of monster possibility.
That's right. One bigified last chance. for you to
Okay,
get stumped
okay.
questions.
So this would bring me up to 33%.
I believe
3 out of
so.
10.
And it's a toughie.
Okay,
Tiffy.
great.
Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Including special episodes such as Q&As and Trivia Showdown.
Yep.
And to be clear, this is not a trick question. I will be happy to specify this.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So including special episodes, but excluding play dates.
Yes.
Those don't count.
How many
How many
broadcasts
times?
of My Singing Monsters
How many
Live?
times is My Singing Monsters Live broadcast on Twitch?
$17.
Oh, stumped! No, what is it? 16 counting today.
You gotta
Stump,
be kidding me.
stump,
I
stump.
can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
I
Ooh.
gotta say,
Give that to me out of pity.
I'm amazed that you were even close. Because I had,
Well, I've been here for many of them, I will point out.
I had to review and count. I had Sydney double check just in case I counted wrong. That was a very tough one. And
See, I was hoping that my lucky number 7 would help me in this case,
I thought,
but alas,
especially when you
it betrayed
kind
me.
of went, and I was like,
16. Wouldn't that have been something?
If you'd said 15, you would
It's saying the same thing.
right now, so then that would make it 16. But you went one over instead. Still, an excellent effort from you, Monster Handler Matt.
Yeah, I got 2 out of 10. That's 20%. That's half of my stated goal.
Again, this is not your area of expertise.
I
but you
guess
have been
not.
studying this show.
Not as
meticulously.
much. That's true. That's
You,
true.
You would have a Dr. Warden E stream it.
Okay.
Giving you some journal on our show.
Stream it.
That's right. Dr. Warden E stream it.
Preposterous.
An expert in the field of My Singing
Streaming.
Monsters Live.
Yes. All right. Fair enough. Yes. I don't have something like that. I do.
Maybe an iPad full
I
of
only
knowledge
have
where
Dr.
he
Warden
watches.
Spread. Well, I do have
the
an
show.
iPad full of knowledge, which is going to be an important part of this next segment. But the first thing that we need to do,
But
take it away,
first,
Monster Handler Eric.
We are going to get
set myself up
you
here.
guys at home. We want to know, out of all these moments that Monster Handler Matt listed in My Singing Monsters history, what moment is your number one? We are going to get a guide on the screen for how to vote. I'm going to spoil it a little bit and tell you that is, in fact, you type exclamation mark with a number. There on the
There
screen,
it is.
right below us, is the legend for which number is which moment. So make sure to type exclamation mark and then the number that you want to vote for, and we will reveal at the end of the episode, right after we play this little activity.
Yes,
called
Monster Multiples.
We'll reveal what your voted moment was. And just before we get to that, I just want to point out, but I want the poll to open, the reason I picked this question last as number one about the number of episodes
Yes.
is because my personal favorite part of all of this streaming is interacting with the community.
Oh, for sure.
It's so great between you guys submitting your art, your questions, playing Stumped, everything right from the get-go of Extra Life, which was the start of all of this.
That's right.
Could not have asked
We've
for
seen
a
this
better
simultaneously like so long ago and also just yesterday.
25 hours of streaming.
Can
straight.
you believe it?
Some people stuck with us pretty much the whole time.
That's crazy.
And we've never had a real issue at all with this. We just have cooperative, appreciative fans. We couldn't be more appreciative. Thank you guys so much for joining us every week that you can. Thank you so much to the people who watch later, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. We hope you're getting as much fun of this as we are.
And helping us get to episode 10.
The
of
big
My Singing
1-0!
Monsters Live.
Double-digit years of the show.
Fantastic.
We hope you keep submitting art, questions. We hope you keep watching. We hope you keep
You're
letting us know what
welcome,
you want to see
dude.
more, whether it's Monster Kitchen,
I love you.